Major funding for NJTV News is provided in part by the members of the New Jersey Education Association, making public schools great for every child, and PSE&G. We make things work for communities.
Tonight on NJTV News, the president's at the border as federal workers face a no-pay day.
Day 20 of the federal government shutdown, and there appears to be no end in sight.
The governor trades a meeting with legislative leaders for a sit-down with school kids.
Plus, too many school kids get too much screen time. How to help them get physical. Those stories and more next on NJTV News.
Live from the Agnes Varis NJTV studio at 2 Gateway Center in Newark, this is NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Why was a Murphy campaign aide accused of rape hired by the administration? And why was he not fired once Katie Brennan told administration higher-ups she'd been sexually assaulted? A fourth day of hearings into the administration's sexual harassment policies turned on those questions. Brianna Venozzi reports.
Call the meeting to order, please.
Lawmakers hammered away at Governor Phil Murphy's chief of staff, Pete Camerano, for hours, peppering him with questions about the hiring of Al Alvarez, the senior staffer accused of raping another high-level official in the administration. In this, the fourth marathon hearing, legislators homed in on timelines. Alvarez was first told to resign by Camerano on March 26, 2018, then again by another member of Murphy's inner circle in June, yet stayed on as the chief of staff for the SDA until October 3rd.
It's very hard to believe with the seriousness, as you would emphasize, that it was incredibly serious. And you tell this individual you need to part company with the state, and he's still there almost 3 months later, and you do nothing.
There are times where I wonder if I should have informed the governor. There are times I wonder if I should have pushed back harder. There are times where I wonder if I should have just fired Mr. Alvarez and run the risk of being sued for firing someone for an accusation. So there's a lot I think I could have done. I think there were barriers, though. The confidentiality barrier frustrated me.
But unemployment papers filed by Mr. Alvarez last month allege Murphy officials pledged to help him find another job before letting him go. Senate Majority Leader and panel co-chair Loretta Weinberg got right to the point.
Did you offer to help him find a job?
I did not.
Did he ask you to?
He did not.
Okay, so there was no offer from you, at least.
There was not.
Indicating that perhaps other officials had offered help. Camerano insists Murphy's chief counsel, Matt Platkin, advised him not to speak to the governor or any other senior officials about the situation due to confidentiality clauses.
Did it trouble you that they were telling you not to tell your boss, who is the top person in the state of New Jersey? He's the leader of the state of New Jersey at this point, about a serious allegation about somebody in his administration?
As I've testified before, there were times where I did wonder about it, but ultimately I followed the advice of legal counsel.
Why wasn't he just taken out of employment? We're going to put you on paid leave till we start figuring this out. Then we can cut the cord when we need to. On your end, you were thinking that. Why didn't it go through that process?
It's not a thought that ever entered my mind.
Alvarez, through his attorney, denies the allegations. This week, we learned his side of the story. He claims he was in a consensual affair with a married woman who then claimed rape. Ultimately, lawmakers were left with little new information today, adding it makes it tough to reform hiring practices with fingers pointed in every direction.
Given everything that has gone on to date, all the testimony, public statements, newspaper stories, who do you hold accountable for getting us here today?
I'll take anybody involved, including you folks sitting here who are looking at this issue. I think we all have an obligation and a responsibility to address it.
And in an odd twist of events, after Pete Camerano asked for a 5-minute break, we learned he would not be continuing his testimony today. Late today, the committee heard from Heather Taylor, the state's chief ethics officer, but it was Murphy's chief counsel, Matt Platkin's name, that came up at least 36 times by our count. He's a central figure lawmakers want to talk to. His testimony's been rescheduled several times, but we're told he he's on tap for the next hearing, January 25th. At the State House, Brianna Venozzi, NJTV News.
And a suit's been filed in Atlantic County Superior Court against the Atlantic County prosecutor. 3 current and former female employees include in their 96-page complaint allegations against several assistant prosecutors as well, citing overt gender discrimination that created a toxic culture for women. And that's not all. Leah Mishkin has our report.
Actually, it's still hard to talk about.
After nearly 20 years working at the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office in high-ranking positions from acting prosecutor to first assistant prosecutor, Diane Ruberton says guards stood by her as she packed her things and was escorted to the door. The only thing she was told was that her services were no longer needed.
Because I spoke up, because I dared question Mr. Tyner, because I blew the whistle, I was fired.
Ruberton, Heather McManus, and Donna Fetzer are suing Atlantic County Prosecutor Damon Tyner, 2 of his lieutenants, Atlantic County, and the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office for gender discrimination and retaliation. McManus says she was forced to retire. Fetzer is still working at the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office. Their 100-page civil complaint was filed today.
He excluded the women who had skills and expertise in a particular area in favor of less senior males who had lacked those skills and experience. He did reduce the pay of myself and other females in the office.
Tyner was appointed to his position by Governor Christie in March of 2017. Ruberton said at the press conference within the first 6 months, she began to notice patterns of him treating her and other females differently.
I was a police officer for over 25 years and have served the public since my early 20s. I have worked in 3 different prosecutors' offices and for 10 different prosecutors. We are here today because we would not be silent to what we saw and experienced.
The lawsuit claims Tyner retaliated against the plaintiffs when he became aware they reported he was allegedly involved in mortgage fraud to the FBI. Atlantic County Prosecutor Damon Tyner today posted a statement on the office's website that reads in part, quote, "It is apparent that the plaintiffs are living in an alternative universe. The very same conduct they accuse me and the members of my administration of committing was actually carried out by them and others during their brief, ineffective period of leadership of the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office." The Atlantic County executive says that while the allegations against Tyner should be properly investigated, Atlantic County has no control over the hiring and firing of the prosecutor. A lawyer representing the plaintiffs says in October they wrote a letter asking the state attorney general to conduct an internal affairs investigation.
Unethical conduct, abuse of power, selective enforcement.
The New Jersey Attorney General's office had no comment at this time. In Atlantic County, Leah Mishkin, NJTV News.
Furloughed federal employees working in New Jersey will miss their first paycheck tomorrow because of the partial government shutdown. But the State Department of Labor says they may be eligible to apply for unemployment benefits. The state's prepared to pay for the duration of the shutdown. Michael Hill has a status report on the barrier to reopening government.
Day 20 of the partial government shutdown and a presidential visit to the U.S.-Mexico border, Texas's Rio Grande Valley.
What they need more than anything is the barrier, the wall, call it whatever you want. Whether it's steel or concrete, you don't care. We need a barrier.
The president blames congressional Democrats for blocking his demand for $5.7 billion to build a long wall along the southern border. But a political poll shows his wall or steel slats has little support from lawmakers who represent border districts or states, even among Republicans, a fact seemingly lost to the president, hinting he'd circumvent Congress and declare national emergency. The administration's plan used military money, as the Pentagon says it's making plans to construct the wall.
Are you closer to declaring an emergency?
We are. I would like to look at broader. I think we can do this quickly because this is common sense and it's not expensive. We will save the cost of the wall every year, but much more than that.
Democrats reject the wall and full funding for it.
What he is proposing is not the best way for us to secure our borders. And let me just make a clarity. Not only was the president unpresidential, surprise, surprise, yesterday, in his behavior. I think the meeting was a setup so he could walk out.
In the meantime, 800,000 federal workers, those who patrol America's waterways and secure air travel, will miss getting paid Friday. That number includes 14,000 employees of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, 5,000 of them furloughed, creating staffing shortages at the Quantico lab and surveillance in the field.
Is this a threat to national security? We believe that fully funding the FBI will lead to our abilities to do our jobs completely and to the fullest ability we have. That leads to national security. This is not about politics for special agents. For special agents, financial security is national security.
Today in a conference call, the president of the 13,000-member FBI Agent Association dodged a question about whether the 8,000 still on the job were calling out sick.
Whether we're paid or not, we're going to show up, we're going to do our jobs, and we're going to do it to the best of our ability.
The shutdown has sparked protests, and without question, it has government workers scrambling to find less-paying jobs and creating border-to-border, coast-to-coast hardship, but also leading to acts of generosity, from food to fitness.
Until you guys start getting paid again, you're more than welcome to come train at Brunswick Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for free.
If the shutdown funding over the wall goes past Saturday, it would become the longest in federal government history. Michael Hill, NJTV News.
Shifting ownership in the casino capital. Rhonda Schaffler's off today. Here with details on that and all the day's business news is Joanna Gagas. Joanna?
Mary Alice, Atlantic City's tide may be rising, but it's not lifting all boats. Ocean Resort Casino, formerly Revel, is for sale only 6 months after opening. An unnamed company will acquire the property and invest $70 million into additional suites and rooms and improvements on the casino floor. The resort had been struggling financially, majorly missing revenue projections and ranking nearly last of AC's 9 casinos. The new owner plans to substantially increase the entertainment programming and player events. 3 of Newark's 4 Gateway buildings are being sold, including NJTV's home, 2 Gateway. 1 and 4 are also for sale. They'll be purchased in a joint venture by 3 New York-based investment groups, and Prudential Financial will be a co-investment partner. The deal for 1.6 million square feet is the state's largest office deal of 2018. The concourse will undergo a multi-million-dollar renovation to make it a more vibrant retail marketplace for all those walking through. New Jersey's reinsurance program may cost more than expected. The state planned to pay less than a third of the $324 million, but the federal subsidy came back $38 million short at just $180 million. New Jersey officials want to know why. They're asking the feds for more transparency on their process and their data sources. The reinsurance program has lowered premiums in New Jersey by reimbursing insurance carriers who cover high-cost patients. The first training class for minority and women-owned businesses started this week. The New Jersey Economic Development Authority and the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey are training 30 business owners to be more competitive, part of the governor's plan to build a stronger and fairer New Jersey. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said today he's concerned about the country's ballooning debt, nearly $21.9 trillion. It hasn't gone down even with the recent economic growth. Powell called it a long-run issue that ultimately we will have no choice but to face. The markets were positive today, with the Dow closing up 120 points. And those are your top business stories.
Support for the medical report is provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
The Patterson man, whose death sparked protests and calls for an investigation by the Attorney General, may have had bacterial meningitis, an infection that can be fatal. Mayor Andres Saya said he and others who had contact with Jameek Lowry were given antibiotics out of an abundance of caution. 27-year-old Lowry died in a hospital 2 days after he recorded a frantic video at police headquarters. Community members and the Lowry family expressed anger at what they say was mistreatment on the part of city police. Officials are awaiting the results of an autopsy and a prosecutor's investigation. New Jersey has lost a child to the flu. the first this season. Health officials aren't releasing details about the child or whether he or she had underlying medical conditions that may have contributed to the death. Adult flu deaths are not reported to the Department of Health. Officials say the flu is starting to ramp up in New Jersey, so they're urging people to get a flu shot immediately. Another step toward providing universal pre-K in New Jersey. Nearly 36 public school districts are in line for taxpayer-funded state aid to start or expand preschool programs. And at one school, Governor Murphy delivered the news in person. Senior correspondent David Cruz has that story.
Hello, how are you? How are you today?
I am well. Governor Murphy put off a much-anticipated meeting with legislative leaders in favor of a sit-down with what was a much friendlier crowd, preschoolers at the Woodmere School in Eatontown, where he announced the release of a second round of funding for full-day preschool.
Throughout this school year, New Jersey has now invested more than $47 million in preschool education expansion aid funding, which is part of a total of $83 million commitment we made to our youngest learners through our budget.
Yes, the budget process, a.k.a. that time the governor, the Senate president, and the Assembly Speaker all agreed on something and avoided a government shutdown. Those were the days. But the road to getting on the same page has been bumpy pretty much ever since. A meeting of the Big Three, scheduled for today, was supposed to bring them closer on the looming legislative items of legal weed and a new minimum wage. But that meeting was postponed until later in the month.
You had another meeting set today with leaders of the Assembly and the Senate. Why has that been pushed off, and what does it say about the big issues that are facing it?
It says very little, and I think we all came to that conclusion together. And that just because we're not in a room together, we've had a very significant amount of communication in the margins, even in the course of the past couple of days.
Asked to explain whether the communications in the margins had gotten the parties of the same party closer to an agreement on a new minimum wage, for instance, the governor didn't answer so much as he reiterated his position.
I'm frustrated it hasn't happened already. Let me say that for the record, as I've said probably 100 times. Having said that, there's a spirit of goodwill. There's a good amount of communication. I remain optimistic. When? I'm not sure exactly what exactly it looks like. You've heard me say before, we want to get to $15 as fast and as responsibly as possible. And I don't want to create, and while I'm reasonable about this, I don't want to create a permanent second class of citizen in the state.
The kids were spared a look into how the legislative sausage is made. They got the fun part, hanging with that really tall man with the bodyguards who read a book about thanks.
Hi, neighbor. Guess what? Today is Thank You Day. What's this? What is that?
Tiger!
Looks like a tiger, right?
So today's lesson, grateful school kids top combative legislators. For photo ops anyway. As for clearing the logjam on pending legislation, maybe not so much. In Eatontown, I'm David Cruz, NJTV News.
Miss New Jersey's waving farewell to Ocean City. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Atlantic City, the future home of Miss New Jersey. The pageant, that is. Its fate was in doubt last month after the Miss America organization yanked its license over a no-confidence vote signed by the Miss New Jersey organization. Now, Miss New Jersey's license has been renewed with a new director who will follow the new swimsuit-free Miss America 2.0 format and a new venue, Resort Casino Hotel Superstar Theater. The Miss America pageant venue, that's still in doubt. The Casino Reinvestment Development Authority says it can no longer foot the multi-million-dollar bill, so Miss America is looking for a new sponsor. Next to Princeton, showing off a new technology that can turn leftovers into lush lawns and lilies and the like, Princeton's Office of Sustainability Director says each year, food waste worldwide accounts for more than 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions. Now the university's cut the ribbon on a biodigester that can turn kitchen scraps into compost in 5 days flat. During its soft launch in the first semester, the aerobic in-vessel rotary drum composting system converted 16 tons of table scraps, presumably from the Ivy's fabled eating clubs and dining halls, into something clean, green, and useful. Finally, Deptford celebrating the 226th anniversary of America's first manned flight that beat the Wright brothers in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina by 110 years, with George Washington himself as a witness. A Frenchman flew a hot air balloon from the Walnut Street Jail in Philadelphia on January 9, 1793, touching down at a site near the Clement Oak. Jean-Pierre Blanchard was met by farmers brandishing pitchforks, but he wooed them with French wine and a letter of introduction from George Washington, the I cannot tell a lie guy. So they wined and dined him and put him on a ferry to Camden. Today, the site's now a shopping center called, wait for it, Deptford Landing. And that's a Garden State Express for Thursday, January 10th. Something up in your neighborhood? Tip us off. Kids and screens. The Kaiser Family Foundation found 8 to 18-year-olds spend, on average, 7.5 hours a day staring at screens, TVs, video games, and such, surfing while sitting. Now the CDC is recommending they spend at least 1 hour being physically active, which can be easier said than done. Lauren Wonko reports.
I love my tablet. It's a screen, and screens are awesome.
Brothers Harry and Isaac really enjoy their tablet time, though they know it's limited. When mom Sarah Stopek was a young girl, she didn't have a tablet filled with an array of apps, but her kids do. It's something she and her husband often think about when parenting.
I mean, it's definitely a challenge for us, and something that we have to constantly be updating as the technology changes and as our kids get older and their expectations are different, our expectations are changing as well.
Technology is something that has always been with us. Now we've got tablets, but there was a time when TV was new, when radio was new, and everybody wondered, well, what are we going to do with this technology? How is it going to change everybody's lives? And I think what we have to recognize is that any technology that comes into our lives, we have to take control over. And we have to teach our kids how to use the technology and not have the technology take over our kids.
Rutgers University psychologist Dr. Maurice Elias says, think of technology as guests in your house.
You have to basically say, okay, here's when we're going to have our guest. We're going to have it for an hour. We're going to have it for a half hour, 45 minutes. We're going to have it in the evening. We're going to have it in the afternoon. We can use it for these things, not those things.
Play all. Parents need to set clear limitations on tablet use, control the content on the devices, and be aware of the amount of time kids are spending on social media, says Elias.
Well, young teens in particular are very susceptible to social media. They are learning what's true and what's not true. Sometimes young teens think that whatever is on social media is true. And of course, then they lose perspective. And of course, it can be very depressing to think that a couple of people have said bad things about you. Because, you know, when you're a teen, you amplify. So if two people said something bad about you, then you think everybody thinks bad things about you.
Between phones, TVs, computers, and other devices, the time can quickly add up.
I have heard estimates of kids spending up to 7 hours a day on various screens. Now, 7 hours is an upper bound, but parents have to ask themselves, how much time do we want our kids to be spending on the screens? What's so interesting is how kids get completely absorbed when they're on their screens.
The professor says parents also have to be mindful of their own screen time. We often stop to check a text message or email in the middle of doing something with our kids. He says dinner is also a particularly good time to turn off all the devices and simply talk.
In the future, many technologies will change, but what will never change is the importance of having caring interpersonal relationships with people.
Harry and Isaac also happen to be the professor's grandchildren. So while they can enjoy their screen time, it looks like they have even more fun playing with their grandfather. In East Windsor, I'm Lauren Wonko, NJTV News.
And now some noteworthy facts that help you know Jersey. New Jersey is one of the top 2 states in the nation in the percentage of 3- and 4-year-olds who are enrolled in preschool. Ocean Resort Casino, which was previously The Revel, opened in June of last year. In 1695, Deptford Township comprised 106 square miles. Today, it's less than 18 square miles. The first hot air balloon flight in North America landed in Deptford, New Jersey, on January 9th, 1793. If there's someone who you'd like to get to know Jersey, share. Use hashtag #KnowJersey. Tomorrow on NJTV News, how you'll be affected as more federal agencies close down and the shutdown wears on. To share any story you've seen tonight, go to njtvnews.org. I'm Mary Alice Williams. For all the men and women of NJTV News, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Independent College Fund of New Jersey, in partnership with Investors Bank, supporting our community since 1926. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. NJM Insurance Group, serving the insurance needs of residents and businesses for more than 100 years. And Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.